Should the practice of female genital mutilation in the Dawoodi Bohra community be banned? The Supreme Court will today hear the challenge to an age-old practice the WHO describes as violative of children's rights. India will turn into a surveillance state. The Supreme Court red flags the Modi government's proposed move to snoop on your social media accounts and email to create citizens' digital profiles. And this 18-year-old from Assam becomes India's first ever athlete to win a gold in a track event at the world level. We'll bring you Hima Das's inspirational story. It's Monday, July 16th. The Supreme Court will today begin hearing a public interest litigation against the practice of female genital mutilation of minor girls in the Dawoodi Bohra community. What is female genital mutilation? The practice of FGM involves the cutting off, partially or total removal of the external female genitalia for non-medical reasons. The World Health Organization says FGM is recognized internationally as a violation of the human rights of girls and women. It reflects deep-rooted inequality between the sexes and constitutes an extreme form of discrimination against women. It is nearly always carried out on minors and is a violation of the rights of children. The practice also violates a person's right to health, security, and physical integrity, the right to be free from torture and cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment, and the right to life when the procedure results in death. In the PIL filed in the Supreme Court, the petitioner says FGM is performed illegally upon girls and is against the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of which India is a signatory. The petition says the practice causes permanent disfiguration to the body of the girl child and is done without any medical reason and does not have any reference in the Quran. Speaking about the practice had largely been taboo until women from the community, survivors, started telling their stories in 2015, and platforms like Speak Out on FGM and Sahyo provided the space for women to share their experiences. And many women did. Now, one challenge in the Supreme Court has arisen from a group that claims the support of 69,000 Dawoodi Bohra women under the banner of Dawoodi Bohra Women's Association for Religious Freedom. The group has filed an intervention application in the proceedings asking to be made party to the hearings. The group cited religious texts to say this is an integral part of the religious practice to achieve taharat or religious purity and cleanliness. The group claims this is a matter of religious freedom guaranteed under Articles 25 and 26 of the Constitution, and the matter should therefore be heard before a constitution bench. The organization, that appears well-funded, could potentially pose a challenge to efforts in getting the practice banned. What is the position taken by the community's spiritual leader? In 2016, an audio clip of Sayyidina Mufaddal Saifuddin's speech at a gathering in Mumbai had surfaced, in which he appeared to be urging the community in India to continue the practice of FGM. He said, "The act must be done. It needs to be done discreetly when it's a woman, but it needs to be done." He called it a religious obligation. Campaigners who were disappointed in the position taken by the spiritual leader see hope in the Supreme Court's observations last week, where the apex court said the practice was a violation of the bodily integrity of a girl child. This will turn India into a surveillance state. Words from a very worried Supreme Court that is hearing a challenge to the government's proposed move to snoop on your social media accounts and email. In what appeared to be an Orwellian proposal, the Modi government in April this year floated a bid document for the creation of a social media analytical tool that will create digital profiles of citizens. This ostensibly to gauge their opinions about official policies, as per the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The government hopes to use this information to target individuals with personalized campaigns to promote positive opinions and neutralize negative sentiments about government schemes. The tool, the bid document says, should have the capacity to monitor a range of digital platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and blogs. The tool should also be able to listen to email, though it's not clear how this can be achieved without violating users' privacy. The Modi government plans to open a social media hub in each district for monitoring online data. Given that India does not yet have a law to ensure data protection or to define the process of obtaining consent from individuals before using their data, the plan to develop the social media analytical tool has raised privacy concerns. Prasanna S., a Delhi-based lawyer who has worked on data and privacy issues, said, "So long as a medium user knows that his or her messages are being monitored by the government, it's enough to cause a chill and is a violation of his or her freedom of speech." Days before Pakistan votes in an election that has already been marred with allegations of pre-poll rigging by the deep state, former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his daughter and political heir Mariam returned to the country and were arrested on arrival. Why would Sharif return when he knew he would be arrested?
लेकिन पाकिस्तानी कौम को मैं बताना चाहता था कि आपके लिए कर रहा हूँ। ये कुर्बानी मैं आपकी नस्लों के लिए दे रहा हूँ, अपने मुस्तकबिल पाकिस्तान के मुस्तकबिल के लिए दे रहा हूँ।
It is a gamble for Sharif, who's been here before when he was deposed in a bloodless coup by Pervez Musharraf almost 20 years ago. Years later, Sharif had returned from exile and eventually became Prime Minister for the third time. In this case, Sharif's decision to come back and be incarcerated has galvanized his party days before elections. Sharif has also looked to pitch himself as the only civilian leader consistently taking on the military establishment. So why has the former Prime Minister been arrested? An anti-corruption court had sentenced Sharif and his daughter in the Panama Papers case. This one pertains to the ownership of 4 flats in London, purchases made from income allegedly beyond known sources. Earlier, the Pakistan Supreme Court had already disqualified Sharif under a controversial constitutional provision which measures honesty and truthfulness, basically decides on the eligibility of an individual to hold public office. Opposition leader Imran Khan was at the forefront of the campaign against Sharif since the release of the Panama Papers. Pakistan's all-powerful military has been accused of orchestrating events in favor of the cricketer-turned-politician. Former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan G. Parthasarathy writes that the powerful Pakistani military's unease with Sharif is due to the latter's propensity to differ on foreign policy issues, particularly on relations with India. Sharif and the Pakistan Army had differed on issues like the terrorist attacks by Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba in Pathankot and Uri. Recently, Sharif had in an interview admitted to the role Pakistan played in the 26/11 Mumbai attacks when he said, non-state actors, without naming Mumbai attack mastermind Hafiz Saeed Zailiti and Maulana Masood Azhar's Jaish-e-Mohammed, he said non-state actors are central to Pakistan's foreign policy. Militant organizations are active, Sharif said. Call them non-state actors. Should we allow them to cross the border and kill 150 people in Mumbai? Explain it to me. Why can't we complete the trial? Ironically, Hafiz Saeed, the mastermind of the Mumbai terror strike, has fielded a number of candidates in this election and has been freely campaigning across Pakistan. And in case you missed it,
but here comes Hima, the Indian is surging. She can see the line. She can see history. India's never won any medal in a track event, but Das has done it here. Brilliant.
And with that, Hima Das made history, becoming India's first track and field gold medalist at the IAAF Under-20 World Championship. Das is also the first Indian, male or female, to have won a gold in a track event at the world level. She joined Neeraj Chopra, who won a gold in javelin, a field event, in the IAAF World Under-20 Championship in the last edition in 2016 in Poland. The story of the making of this 18-year-old champion who once played football in her village in Assam is awe-inspiring. One of her village school teachers saw her pace while she was playing football on a muddy field. He told her to take up athletics. Soon the teenager was spotted by Nippon Das, an athletics coach with the Directorate of Sports and Youth Welfare, during an interstate meet in 2016. Nippon asked her to shift to Guwahati, 150 kilometers from her village, and convinced her that she had a future in athletics. Her parents were initially reluctant, but later relented. Das is the eldest of 4 siblings, and her father has a small plot of land. Her mother is a housewife. That small piece of land was the only source of income for a family of 6. When asked to describe her remarkable journey, Das said, "I am living a dream." Now, the unchallenged queen of India's track and field for decades, PT Usha hailed Hima Das's feat. PT Usha knows better than most what it would take for Hima Das to make the transition to the next level in world athletics. We leave you with an anecdote from this archival interview where Usha talks about becoming the youngest Indian athlete ever at age 16 to qualify for the Olympics.
First time going for the Moscow Olympics, it was for me it was thrilled to see the Olympic Stadium, and I am very thrilled. And first time I am just going even in the flight, and but for me a lot of sickness in the flight itself, and not at all in a good mood after reaching there, full vomiting, because it's the first time now, like flying it is not easy, maybe first time, so long time flying in the air, it is made me little my head got heaviness and started vomiting. When we went to the Moscow Olympics welcome center, they will give you the drinks, no, like welcome drink they give. I don't know what thing I have taken from the because I am so thirsty and so tired. I took some drink from there, and after that I feel again some problem. I don't know what I took. Maybe wine, I don't know. Something, and I had some lot of problem in this and started vomiting, and that day was very difficult for me. But 16-year-old girl going outside the country, and it was a very big stadium, and it was the same type building, Olympics villages. And when you go to the room, from the room to mess and room to the other places and all, it looks almost same building. But one small vehicle also will be there to surround, no, like to go to the mess and all the places, Mama Peria and all those things. One small vehicle also will go. From my hostel to my flat to that building, maybe 3 times I gone on. Then I will keep one mark. Then I started going to the mess, because others are all seniors. No company for me. One lady was there, Gita Sushi, 800 meters runner. She is very senior to me. Nobody is there. I go almost alone there. And when I go to the ground, the chief coach was there, Saini sir and all, he helps. Because my coach didn't come in 1980 Moscow Olympics, he didn't come. But with the Saini sir, chief coach, I went with him. He helped me. And one basketball coach was there, Malayali, he was also in the team. And sometimes he helps me. And or counting in the one mark, and after reaching the mess itself, that time Indian team used to take the cooks also there for food. They make good puris and chapatis and all those they'll make. For me, I'll take lot of time to reach there. Now by that time that all Indian food will finish, I will take the continental again, other mess. It's very funny.